Best guns, best settings, best perks, and best tips. Warzone Season 1 is here, and we have all of these top recommendations for you on what's new and how to use it to get the most wins and therefore get better. So let's get into it. We'll talk best settings and tips later, but first we'll go through what guns you should be aiming to level for Warzone, either in Black Ops 6 or as you Battle Royale. Of course, we need to talk assault rifles first, and I totally recommend that you go for the Model L. This has quite low recoil for how hard it hits, especially if you dampen that with attachments like the compensator or the vertical foregrip. I must stress though, this is a level 40 unlock, so if you've not been playing Black Ops 6 via Game Pass right away, you won't have it in Warzone right away either. Instead, I would focus on the XM4. Treyarch have played a blinder and given us one of the best ARs right out the gates with the XM4, and this is a complete all-rounder, especially when you equip it with things like the extended mags or a balanced stock. If you're after a starter build, I've built one for you right on screen. Now, when it comes to the fan favourite SMG in Call of Duty for that closer range scrapping, the C9 will hold you in great stead until you get to level 43. Then you unlock the Jackal PDW. And you may remember it from the beta because it was absolutely cracked. And it still remotely is. It is absolutely amazing, and it will be amazing in Warzone's new Resurgence map, Area 99, because all of the different POIs are really tight and you would need those SMGs to stack those kills. And if you want to build for that, it's on screen. For longer range automatics, the XMG is a great pick. A bit heavier, sure, but this is basically the beefier version of the XM4, so it's incredibly reliable, especially with the ported compensator muzzle, and it reduces bullet drop massively. You can unlock this pretty early at level 13, so you can get leveling it pretty fast. Here's our build for this one. As for the sniper, and as a sniper, my personal favourite, the LR 7.62. This is a bolt action one-shot kill to the head and chest. So unless you've got the Vault edition of Black Ops 6, this is unfortunately a late level 49 unlock. So it might take a while to get there, but once you get there, it's well worth it. There are more new guns coming to Black Ops 6 and Warzone Season 1, like the Krig C assault rifle and the Saug SMG, but until you can nab those through the new Battle Pass, these will hold you in great stead in early games. Alright, look, that's the gun part out of the way. That's your loadout sorted somewhat. Let's talk about perks, because they're really important. They've changed a little bit in this Call of Duty. You'll be able to pick 3 perks, one from each colour, a set of blue, red, and yellow. There's no combat speciality advantage to having them all as one colour like in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, so no set bonuses, so you have a lot more freedom of choice here. And there are a couple of these perks that you need to unlock as you go through the season's Battle Pass. Namely, Reflexes. This delays explosives triggering when you run past them, so things like a spring mine or a trap. And then also Veteran, which reduces flinching and the negative effects of some enemy equipment. There are also some that are only lootable in the field. You cannot pre-select them, and you probably might know them. The first one is Shrouded. This drops a smoke grenade when you're downed. This is in the last Warzone. And then Irradiated, which is so clutch. This allows you to run quicker, take less damage, and plate up in the gas. There's also the Specialist perk package, which does return in this Call of Duty. It's a very rare drop, but this gives you all perks at once. This makes you an unstoppable soldier on the battlefield. But if you're wondering which perks to pick and which ones are the best, well, listen up. The first one to pick is Dexterity. This reduces weapon motion when jumping, sliding, and diving, which is completely essential with the new Omni movement system. The second is Quick Fix. This allows your health to regen as soon as you down an enemy, and also when you start plating, which you can now do one-handed. So if you're trying to be an unstoppable one-man army, Quick Fix is the way to go. Finally, in the perk 3 slot, you have to make sure someone in your squad is running this, and that is Bird's Eye. This makes UAVs 25% bigger. But once you get to level 44, you probably want to swap that out for Alertness. This is otherwise known as High Alert. This gives you an on-screen indicator when someone is looking at you and you're not looking at them, which keeps you alive for longer and therefore allows you to win more games. Alright, so now those are all sorted for you. Here are some tips that you need to make sure you're running so you rack up those wins even quicker than you have done before. First off, if you haven't done so already, change your button layout to Tactical in the settings menu. This switches your dive and your melee buttons around, meaning that you don't have to lift your thumb to dive and slide, which is perfect for Omni movement. Speaking of which, and this goes under the radar, get your slide/dive behavior set to Hybrid. This means you'll only dive if you're pressing the left stick, and if you're not, you'll slide. Get used to those distances that you slide so you can make more calculated decisions when getting out of the way or getting in the way. With sprinting, get rid of sprint delay by turning it right to 0 so you get to sprinting faster without delay. When it comes to your view, make sure your FOV slider is set anywhere between 103 to 115 on personal preference. This will give you much more peripheral vision without warping too much so you can still see clearly. Also, with Black Ops 6's Omni movement system, this means the game is way faster than it was previously. So put your stick sensitivity up by 1 over what you've had before. I run a 6.6, but you can change your taste to +1, +2, whatever works. You also don't want to forget that first-person camera movement should be on 50%. This is the lowest setting It means you can have as little distraction as possible. Now, some essential Warzone specific settings. Change your armor plate behavior to apply all. I don't want to see anyone being caught out after watching this video. This allows you to hold down Y and put all of your plates in from 1 to 3 without needing to press the button ever again. Essential. For interact/reload behavior, make sure that this is on prioritize interact. This means you'll avoid any awkward scenarios when you start reloading, you don't need to, and then you die, and then you're looking at the lobby screen again, which no one wants to see. Now, this last one is a tip old as time, but please make sure you do it. Turn your parachute automatic behavior to off. This sounds counterproductive, but this means that you can land closer to the ground and your parachute doesn't auto deploy in a moment where you don't want to and you get shot out of the sky. Please change that. I will be checking. Okay, now a couple of Resurgence specific tips, given that the new map is Area 99 and it is a Resurgence map. The first one, a lot of people don't do this. When you kill someone in Resurgence, your mini-map shows a ping of where the teammates are of the person that you killed. This is great for gathering intelligence, wiping squads quickly, and also avoiding death. Now, speaking of avoiding death, because it's Resurgence, you have a little timer for when your teammates can respawn. So when you're the last alive, play your life. You hear people say this, but this basically means stay alive as much as you can. Don't worry about kills. Get away, get health, get plates, get your teammates back in so you can eventually win more games. Now, in pursuit of winning more games, I don't know if you know this, but looting brings the Resurgence timer down for your teammates. So opening crates of different varieties and rarities will reduce the timer by their respective rarity. Do that as much as possible, right? Opening up medicine cabinets does the same. Opening up loot crates does the same. And even staying on the move does the same. It reduces the timer. So do that, keep your enemies in the fight, win more games. We all know the colour of the sky is blue, but it's worth keeping an eye on because as people regain in Resurgence and they keep respawning, well, where do they come from? It's the sky. So some people that don't have their parachute control turned off means that they will end up deploying and waving around above certain buildings that result in some easy kills for you to pick up and therefore some easy wins. Right, there we have it. Have you got any Warzone tips? If I've missed any, let me know in the comments. If you want to see a Season 2 guide, let me know in the comments. And if these were useful, let me know in the comments and I'll see you next time.